All right, we're down to our last puzzle. Number 7, busy message. So your example here is you're just going to find a busy looking page. Don't worry, I give you a website. And you're going to draw a word on here. And I kind of like it best with just like a handwritten, I mean, you could put letter boxes on here if you really wanted to. I just think it blends in a little bit better if you sort of hand draw it. So it's a little more mysterious, if you will. Now, for this one in your classroom, you would physically cut this apart. So you'd want to like print this page on cardstock, cut out, don't include the top part, cut it out, and then cut it into a certain number of pieces. And just be sure that you do that for each team. Put them in an envelope, put number 7 on the envelope so they each have to complete the puzzle. And if you notice on the answer document, I put that there so that they know that is number 7. So what do we do? So we're in here. First off, you need to figure out what message you want to hide. And I've already decided I want to hide the word semantic because we talk about semantic HTML elements in the class. And so I want this word semantic to be a word that they're like, oh, I didn't even know that was a word, as they have to reveal that word. And you're going to want to go left to right as you put your letters in so that the letters are in order, but they could be staggered throughout the page. They would just be read left to right. And that's the hint you'd give if for some reason they get it all taped together and they don't know what it is. All right, so in here, I've already given you the link. You'll also find it on here, Coloring Nation. So in here, we've got Coloring Nation. We're just going to borrow a coloring page. I'm going to close my sidebar over here. They have a bunch of busy pages. The little printable object. So like don't do this one because it would be really obvious. But like some of these other ones, there's just a lot going on, right? So this will make it a little bit easier. Now, some of these are where you're supposed to like find stuff, you know? Well, this one's 4th of July because you're supposed to seek and find, but all we need is the square. And I like this page because they are in squares. So to me, that makes it a little bit easier to use because they are in squares. I don't really think any of these is halfway relevant. I don't have people on computers or anything. So I'm not really being thematic here. You could certainly go look in other places for different stuff too, but I'm just going to, I could say, you know, a mouse, like a computer mouse. Anyways, okay. So once you get one, just go ahead and give it a copy paste. And then of course you're going to want to crop this down a little bit. So I'm going to copy paste this in here, probably scale it up, but then use my little arrows to crop this so we don't have all the extra stuff. Just use those lines there. And then of course you can make it bigger if you want to. Okay, that's pretty much it. And now we just need to zoom up and we need to add our text. And that's pretty much going to be it. But I am going to show you an alternative if you want to give your students an electronic way to do this too. So I know I want to do the word semantic. So I'm going to go over here on the left and scroll up until I get to tools. And then in tools, you're going to click on the little red draw button. And then I usually use the pen, but you could use a marker. I'm just going to choose one and then choose, I usually don't go black. I usually go like gray, just because black is like so dark that these really aren't black. So kind of gray, so it's a little bit different than the picture. Okay, then you're just going to draw. Now, every time you let go of your mouse, it makes a new like shape. So just understand that if you let go of your mouse, like I'm drawing a T and I let go, it's 2 pieces. So if I need to move it, I have to move both pieces. All right, so I want to do semantic. So I might up here do my S, and then maybe here do my E. Oops, that looks kind of weird, but that's okay. E. And then an M, maybe on his little pants. And then maybe like an A on his head. And then an N somewhere. I need a T, so maybe I'll go way up here. That might be a little too far over. T, and then I need an I. This is 3 pieces, remember, so if I have to move it, I'm going to have to figure that out. And then a C. Maybe I put way over here. So, like, it's hard to find. Like, they're going to have to really look for the scribbled letters. S-E-M-A-N-T-I-C. And again, make sure they read left to right so that you can at least give them the hint that they are scribbled and they are left to right. So, All right, that's pretty much all you have to do, and basically you're done with this. But if you want to make an electronic version that they have to like solve, you can basically take your mouse over here with the select and draw you a box around all of this and group it. So that way all your pieces are in one piece, right? Then what you can do is you can right click it and go to download selection and then just tell it, I usually do a JPEG, okay? And it's going to call it whatever this says. It's going to call it like web design game breakout or whatever, but that's okay. If you have a pop-up window, you can rename it. Otherwise, it'll just go to your downloads like mine just did. You know, whatever. I can rename it in there. Then what you're going to do is you're going to go back in here, and there's this website called Oh My Dots. And you can just, and I told you on here, group it and export selection. But Oh My Dots is a puzzle generator that's like puzzles that you can scoot the picture around. So you're going to click here and grab your picture. And there it is. Hit next. And then you have to decide what shape you want it to be in. And unfortunately, my letters are kind of falling in their own boxes, which I really don't like because then they're going to probably be able to figure it out. But maybe not. They still have to put it in order. You can decide how many pieces. So if you don't want to make it like super hard, you could just choose like 16 pieces. You can also set it like triangular instead of rectangles. But you know, it's whatever you want to do here. Okay. When you hit start, what it does is this, like it shuffles it. And because they're going to have to get it left and right to figure it out anyway, you really don't need more than 16 pieces because it's going to take them some time to figure this out. When they click it, you know, when you move a piece, it flip-flops with the other piece. So it's just going to move around. You know, those two look like they go together, and it's going to flip-flop pieces. Okay? And then they're going to have to get it all put together, and then they can read it left to right on here. So it might be easier to just do it in puzzle pieces, but if you want to have an electronic angle, you can do this. Then you would hit create. You can give it a name. Puzzle 7. I probably should have put Web Design Puzzle 7 because it's going to name this, and that's going to be part of the name. So you can see here it says, Oh My Dots, play / and some numbers, puzzle -7. And then all I have to do is hit copy. So you don't have to log in or anything to create a game. You just do that. And then now I've got, so I'll just take this one out, and then here is my link to the puzzle if you want to provide them that instead of giving them the picture. Now, don't give them the picture if you're going to give them the link because you're giving them the answer key. So if you're going to do the link, take off your teacher note here and put a note here that says go to this website and solve the scribbled puzzle or something like that, like whatever you want to give the hint for. Now for me, I'm just going to put it in my notes. So I've just kind of got it over here just in case. And I'm ready to go. And then your last page is just going to be your locks. So before we meet, make sure you've gone through and counted how many letters on each of your answers and that we've got that matching on your locks, like right on a piece of paper or something so that you can make sure. So like I haven't done that yet on here, but I would want to go through and make sure that I've got all of my locks planned as they should be. And otherwise, congrats. You've like made it to the end of this. It's taken some time, you know, like the AI part takes a little bit of time. But really, other than the first two parts, this wasn't too bad, right? And hopefully now you've got a great activity that you can use with the class, minus us going through and creating the fun storyline part of it. So I'm going to guide you through that part together and show you how to create a digital lock system so that they can actually try those locks out and not have to bring the answer sheet to you to sign off on to unlock each of theirs. But you know what? Paper's okay too. You could totally have them just bring the answer sheet to you and you have a marker and you just bubble it in green whenever they get it correct or whatever. So, all right, you've done it. Be sure that you have, of course, your answer key all going on here, that you're all situated. You've worked through all of these puzzles, and that you're going to be ready to work with me for the finishing touches when we meet. Thanks.